I've kind of like distanced myself from culture, so I'm not really like culture when it comes to a lot of things. It's just okay. Does it make sense? Does it not? How does it make us feel as a family? Does it fit? So, but I remember like initially when we got married, because my wife has a English maiden name, and she wanted to keep the name, and the name means something in Lagos, right? She's a savage and things like that. And I'm like, no, you're not. And my reason was I'm the only boy. What if we have kids and the kids say,
and the kids are confused. That's easier to pronounce.
It's English, right? So there's a tendency that they'll gravitate towards that name, and it's like. My generation.
Okay, so what is the big deal about
like
name with guys? Should I ask that? What is the big deal? Why can't I just give birth to a child and say your name is Mobolaji Odun?
I don't think there's a big deal. I think it's just something that's been instilled in us.
It's like that's where the mother has the children and they take the mom. I think in Brazilian,
even in Ghana.
Yes, even in the Brazilian culture, they take their mom's name, is not the dad. So that's a very good example of the cultural thing.
Yeah, but keep it. I mean, they always say a big name is better than riches, right?
Yeah.
So you want to hold on to that name. Reason why?
Okay, let me ask the Abuja Prince. Thank you for joining in, Bobby. Thank you, Sheil. Would you marry someone that doesn't want to take your name? Take your last name?
Yeah, I mean, I will. If my father was alive, he's not going to let that happen. But I will, because I'm really distancing myself from cultures and all that.
I think we should now talk about why we are distancing ourselves from culture.
For
those who have claimed to be.
Is it because we're in America?
There must be a reason.
Is it because we're in America, or is it that over time our mentality has like recalibrated?
I think over time I have had a better understanding of just certain things. So like we're talking behind the scene earlier about cause and effect. It's just like people don't ask the reason why, and and they tell you because we've done something over and over for the last 20
That's
years.
the way we've always done it.
Exactly. Still like we never question the status quo. So in my mind it's about why do we do this? Why do we kneel down or prostrate in the morning when we say something? It's a sign of respect. I can prostrate and greet you, and when I curse you, I don't know, right? So then what's the definition of respect, right? So it's about just digging in, going layers by layers, and just peeling the peel back to get a true understanding of why we do what we do. And by the time you get to the bottom of it, it's because it started in one village. So exactly, makes absolutely no sense. So it's not like
even this name change. I heard that it started from British culture, and that's the culture we are
as Nigerians.
So it starts from them.
I mean, if you go to colonization and slavery, the slaves took the name of the slave.
Savage case in point.
Savage is a good name in Lagos.
If you dig deep though, right, back to colonization and things like that, most English Nigerian names,
McMahon's,
and that's why Lagos State, Port City,
and the missionaries, I think.
Yes.
All right. So moving on, Shola. Do you think love or do you think culture affects love? Do you think when you're in love with someone, you can just overlook the culture and just say, I'm in love, that's all that matters. They do tribal mark in my husband's culture, I don't care. Or in my fiance's culture, I don't care, I love him. Like, they do this, they do that, I don't care, I love him. Do you think that is enough?
Love culture. Well, I'm in between. Yeah. Love covers everything, right? But it's still no, I'm in between in terms of I'm not against and I'm not for in terms of love covering culture. Like,
is love supposed
to
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, please, but that's why, because
is love supposed to cover all things, or is supposed to cover a multitude of sins, or I mean, we kind of try to
we just
quote these things out of context.
So I think we have to be just my opinion here, right? So love, what is love, right? Because you're like, I'm in love, I'm in love. Are you in love? Are you in lust? Right?
Exactly.
So that's that. And then love. and then relationship, right? So does culture affect love? Does love have culture?
They both.
Or is it the relationship, right? And things like that.
Yeah, so they clash actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
They affect, they affect
the
each
question
other.
of does
So-
love affect culture or does culture affect love? And I'm asking it in terms of marriage. Like, I want to marry this guy, and I found out that there are some things
In
they
their
do
culture.
in this culture that I don't agree with, but people are telling me, you love him, but you love him. Do you understand that question? But you, as in, you love him, so why?
Okay.
As in,
can we use the case of Harry and Meghan?
and Meghan. Okay,
As much as we know.
we know, as much as we know.
We know.
Now,
Little I
the
know.
story of Harry and
Yeah.
Meghan is it's not as if she doesn't know, she knew, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I said I wasn't going to keep having opinion today. God of myself. Okay,
She
in my
knew what she was
opinion,
going
she
into.
knew what she was.
I think there's no opinion.
I
It's
think
facts.
now, exactly.
She knew what she
I
was
think
getting
she knew
into.
what, and I
She
think
was
she got
getting into.
overwhelmed because she is a free-spirited person. And then when she now got into this situation where she has to be restricted to live her life according to what people say, she found that she could not do it.
So there's something about marriage, right?
Okay.
And I think this is what differentiates being married from dating.
Dating.
You don't know enough when you are dating, right? And then you get married and it's like,
Yeah, so that's why.
this is
In
marriage.
Meghan's own case, they actually tutored her.
But she could still come and
She
go.
tutored,
She could still come and go
Oh no,
accordingly.
they actually kept her in the place for a while. She was in the place for a while with the British, whatever, whatever.
So let me play
telling her
devil-
everything that she would do.
Let me
when
play
she
devil's
did it in her
advocate
life.
here. In this context, I'm not trying to be speak for the devil. So that is the part of this is what happens in my family, and there's the part of this is what I as an individual believe, and I'm going to shield you from those things.
To the pressure of the family, overwhelms you.
Yeah.
Okay,
So what I'm saying is,
so
so maybe she's in this
Harry's
context,
position.
maybe she's expressed our reservations, if I want a better word, about some of those things, and Harry has told her.
But my thing is, you knew. You knew before.
I don't think she knew the extent.
She,
Oh,
see,
see,
there's a
that's-
difference between
that's- wait,
caring
let's
and
be honest.
experiencing
Thank you
things.
for joining
Yes.
the marriage.
There's a
Thank you,
whole
grandma,
lot of
family.
difference.
exactly. So
Thank you,
that's
Adebola.
one thing about marriage. There are so many things you wouldn't. It should know me. Like you wouldn't have
No,
known
before getting married.
before getting married.
Okay, you know
So
why people are. That was why there was like divided support for her. Because if you read the story from the beginning, you will be very familiar with it. She knew
The support she
The-
gained was from
the racist
America.
part.
Exactly.
And it
From
wasn't the
British.
racist part. Like,
The British don't play
Against
around.
that
with
decision.
it.
They were
don't play
against
around
that
with it.
decision.
we knew what happened to Diana.
Yes,
We all
exactly.
knew. So
And that's a white woman,
exactly.
white
Why
Diana's
she-
case was
Yeah.
deeper than Harry's, as in deeper, because there was this case of is it
They
affair?
affair.
Yeah.
They were
But
both
that,
on
but,
an
that,
affair.
but that was long after
After
things
that,
were broken
yeah.
So
down.
with them,
I think her husband was actually
She was
having
in
an
Camilla,
affair when
exactly.
they
She
were
was in
married. He was
Camilla
seeing
all the
Camilla
while.
all the
But
Never
just
time.
because she was a
Yeah.
divorcee,
He never
she
left.
but
wasn't
the
good
case is
enough.
kind of in a way
It's a bit
different.
different, yes,
It's,
it's a
it's
bit-
different. But with this ones, with Meghan, I think what her husband was trying to guide was the sanity of Meghan, because it was affecting her. Like
No, she
I
is
read
lucky. She's
an
lucky to
article
have
that
a
she will be
very lucky
breastfeeding
woman.
her baby
Everybody
and
is.
she will be crying.
Yes.
You seeing your wife in that situation, definitely you have to preserve yourself, and that's one thing in marriage. Preserve yourself, guide yourself, like guide. I'm talking about spouses in marriage. Guide
Protect
yourself.
each
You know
other.
what you
Protect each
protect
other.
each other. You know what you're into, and of course
I-
we are getting married,
I
and
believe
you
she
have
was-
to.
she was
If I'm in a situation, of course, you as my spouse, you're like, okay, I'll be with you. I'll I'll walk you through, and I think that was what happened in their case.
How old is the marriage?
Okay, I think
But-
family in
But
terms
the
of
culture,
years, right?
but
This
that
is a
culture,
topic, sorry,
I'm
Shana.
still.
This is a topic that needs to be addressed before marriage.
What?
Yeah, that someone just said that.
Culture.
This
Like both
needs
of
to be
them.
addressed before
Oh
marriage.
yeah, you need to talk.
Before you get married.
I believe it's one
But
of
you
those
all just
things.
said you can't find out
You
everything.
can't
until
know
after marriage.
everything,
But
but
you
you
still
should
have
still not
to.
go in blindly.
That culture.
There's a lot of things that needs to be discussed before marriage.
Of course.
But again,
Well,
it's
How
not how
many
you
of
decide.
you do you actually
Exactly.
find it to be the same
key,
way you
The
thought?
key
Yeah.
is this, right? right? Your holy matrimony, your marriage, your relationship has to be bigger than anything. Religion, culture, whatever, family, like it has to be bigger than anything. In my own opinion, that's the only way your marriage
I agree with you.
survives.
I agree.
I agree
To
with
an
you.
extent.
It has to be bigger than everything, but you still have to respect. I'm not saying that, okay, but I think it has to be like 70-30. You
But
still
the
have to
culture.
respect that culture in terms of, okay, you need your parents' blessings when you want to get married. They might be against you getting married to your spouse. Do you understand? Yeah, you know, and if it happens that, okay, eventually they're like, I'm not gonna be present at your wedding. I'm not gonna be part of this, and that's fine. That's where that love behind. But most importantly, you have to love intelligently.
So,
You can
okay,
still
so-
okay, go back to those parents. Maybe after you guys are
Why
married and
do
everything,
they
have
why do
their
they matter?
Why? No, it's not even why do they matter as much as why
They
are they
matter.
even against it in the first place. I think that's where you
Okay,
start.
I think I need to
Yeah.
tell the story, but thank you, Shem. Thank you. I can see some people, but I really cannot see their names. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Abikende. There was a story of someone that said she took a boyfriend or a fiancé home. I don't know what to call the person anyway. And her parents were okay. They welcomed him. And then after he left, they called her and told her no. And she was like, why? But you people welcomed this guy when he came. You accepted him. And the father said yes. But there's something about this guy, I can tell you, he's not the one.
Wow.
So the lady ran from the house, took her stuff and went to Abuja. The guy came from Abuja. The guy came from Abuja. And thank you, Kenny. I have a lot of people coming in. Thank you. And so she took her stuff after months of fighting with her parents, and she went to Abuja. And on getting to Abuja, when she got, as in, I'm going to surprise my fiancé, kind of thing. And when she got there, she saw a lady in the house. And the lady was pregnant. It wasn't Slim Mama, it was wife.
Oh.
It was actually wife. And the wife played along and said, who are you? The wife said, who are you looking for? I'm looking for so person. Oh, okay, come in. Who are you? I'm his fiancé and all that. And the wife was like, oh, okay, come in, sit down. Where is he? I've gone to work. Do you want to wait for him? They started playing together, gisting together. They went to the kitchen, they cooked together, they did everything. The wife didn't say anything.
How did she introduce herself?
She said she's her
Her
sister.
sister, okay.
She's her sister. And so when the guy came in and saw both of them playing Ludo, it was stuck. Now, I'm telling that story because at times, I am not of the opinion that your parents need to choose who to marry.
No, they're not.
But there are some things they see.
Now that's what I'm saying. What's the reason? So that is an intuition thing, which I would say, okay, she should have listened and prove for that. But in a case of, we've got different stories of where the parents will be like, oh, we don't marry from that area. We don't, people don't marry from that area. And those ones I don't subscribe to.
Of course, I
Because-
don't either.
Because when you, like you
want to
said,
say something?
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Zizi
yeah,
Glamorous.
we could look at this in this context too, because like most of our parents, I'm not trying to pick on anybody's parents, but you know, most of our parents are so judgmental. Like like for example, if I take a girl out to my mom, or if my father was alive, he's gonna look at his own things which he feels like it's not right for me to have that girl. Not really trying to know who that person is. Maybe she might dress some type of way, he don't like it, he feel like it's not cool. So he's gonna be like, okay, you can't get married to this one. But that might really be my soulmate.
Okay. Yeah, but I think most of the times we judge people based on who we are. You know, we don't give room. Yes, we don't give room for each other's individuality. So most times when we see someone, we are just like, it's not dressed a certain way, which is the way I dress. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way to dress.
Yeah, then.
but sorry. When we say things like that, we can look at it both ways. How do you exactly analyze? Because at the end of the day, you are trying to see, okay, this person and I, can we get along long term? And short of reading their minds and looking into their souls, it's the outside, outward display of who they are that you will put together to paint a big picture, right? So if you know that personally I'm turned off, I don't really like seeing people dress in a certain way. You're either, so if you're going to marry someone that dresses like that, you're either you're gonna have to either work on yourself or you're hoping to change that person for it to work long term.
You can't change
You
it.
can
Yeah,
change it.
exactly. So you can't change anybody. So
change
then
it.
it becomes,
You can't change it.
can I deal with the person that this person is? Now that's outside of your father looking at the person. If you are fine with it, hey, do you, like we said.
Yeah.
You actually shifted from culture.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to refer back to that culture.
Exactly.
I was going to refer back to that culture. So some of these, we said some parents could be judgmental, and sometimes when they advise,
Okay, being judgmental,
it could be-
is it culture? Is it cultural?
It could be based
It
on
could
the
be.
culture.
Their own-
yeah, the
their
attributes that
traditions,
she's using,
yeah.
So it could be from a place of experience. Some of these
True.
parents, some of their advices are from
What they've
the
experienced.
trauma or the experiences they've had. Maybe you can marry from this tribe or this family, Jebu, or
Excuse you all.
you know, excuse
you.
She doesn't
know.
it might have been,
Jebu.
yeah, based on the experiences they've had,
Right,
bad or good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But should you paint an entire people with one brush of your experience with one person?
that's
racism.
so that's why I'm kind of like this
Everybody
parents' advice. Sometimes, yes, I really am of the opinion that you have to respect your parents,
Of course.
you know.
But they're not
But
right.
at the same time, you and
Yeah.
your spouse, you know what you're going into. They don't want you to marry from
Hausa.
Hausa, this thing, and you know that that's your soulmate, and you both know yourself. You both are going into this. You're starting a new life.
And then you become like Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, see, Harry and Meghan is extreme. in the sense
Personally,
that-
soulmate is a myth.
Exactly.
I don't believe there's
Some
anything
people
called
have like
soulmate.
3 soulmates.
I know.
in one lifetime.
Like when you're 7, you have a soulmate when
I
you're 7.
know, right?
Oh, dear.
It's your soulmate, you will find the next one.
Well, that's
Harry and
that's
Meghan
how
are
it is.
extreme in the sense that.
Thank you,
Okay.
Grace. Sorry. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. All of you. The names are going faster, so I really can't see. But I know there's this conversation going on here. I don't want to keep interrupting them. Someone said that is in America or where?
So,
Okay. It is well. We'll cover everything. We'll try and cover everything because we have how many minutes left?
No, the question might be.
No, it's not. It's they are actually
just come.
talking about they are having their own conversation about what we are talking about.
Oh, okay, okay.
So,
As
yes.
long as the
So-
match is there, she will,
Yes, so
she will start our
it's,
conversation there.
They are saying marriage thing is that the marriage is a book. You don't finish
It is.
reading. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want to take another angle to this thing. You as a guy, you have your personal behavior. You have a way of behaving, and most people will say we get our way of life from our culture. So do you think that translates to your relationship? Do you take like now you see your dad saying a woman must cook, must be the one doing the cooking, while I sit down, watch football or read newspaper, and the woman is slaving away in the kitchen, you know, and
She's not
you.
slaving, but she's cooking.
Oh yeah, she's slaving away cooking.
She's cooking.
She's slaving away cooking.
Okay. So you can tell.
Yeah, she's slaving away cooking, but then you can actually go and help and give her the knife. But you decide to sit down and be
Or
watching her
just
snack
with her.
by you, or just with her, and then that's what you see your dad do. So can we all agree and say I got this behavior from my culture because like your dad see his own dad was doing it, your mom see your mom do something and all that, and it goes on and on.
So again, distancing myself from culture. No, so the way I looked at things, especially growing up, is, and I think this is really important. So you watch your parents, father, mother. You need to be able to identify what's bad in your parents. You need to be able to identify what's good in your parents. And I always say this: our parents did the best with
Yes,
everything they
yeah,
had, right?
yeah.
But again, to your point, right? You have to be able to go. You know what? Dad did this. Dad did this. Dad did this. Is a rock star. Dad did this. Dad did this. I don't want to be that.
That's
Right? And you have to watch that. So from a cooking standpoint, I think the whole cooking thing just worked differently in my own household. What I try to do, contributing from a cooking standpoint, is on the weekends is when I try to let me get in the kitchen and see what I can do. Maybe on a Friday night, a Saturday morning, and things like that. And to your point, you know, I think Sasha said this earlier, you know, even if it's just gisting,
Yeah,
you know,
just
and
keeping
things
it
like
up company in
that.
the
Yes,
kitchen.
we don't do gender roles in my house, so where we try
I
not
think
to.
gender role is another topic.
Exactly. Well, it's tied to culture
It's
because
tied
like,
to
oh, it's the
culture,
woman that has to
It's
do
tied to-
laundry,
yes.
the woman that has to clean, the woman
Clean the
that has
house
to
and
do.
do that.
And what does the man do then?
Exactly.
Watch
Pay the
TV.
bills.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Pay the
But
bills.
most-
At the end of the day, they're
That's why they're sharing the bills,
And
exactly.
men will crucify you.
That's right.
They'll be okay. They'll be okay.
No, funny enough, some women will. You remember some women will tell you that.
Yeah.
Yes. So some women will actually disagree. with
The
you.
woman's
Yeah.
office is the
It's
kitchen.
the kitchen.
It
yes.
works
So-
in my household
Yes.
and it works well. We don't do gender
That's the
roles.
thing.
And it's different with
I don't know
every
if this thing
marriage.
is different culture. We like to, you know, find a justification for our bad behavior.
Yep.
Is what it is. Because when we talk about our culture, men don't cook, women cook. But when I look around, I see homes where every time they want to eat pounded yam, it's the dad that pounds.
Oh, my dad taught me how to pound
I mean,
yam.
some people will tell you my dad can cook better than
Yeah.
my mom, and they're of the same culture. In other ways, they're cultural, but that works for.
I told
you know,
someone recently that
So-
we pound yam every Saturday, and that's me and my dad. Or my dad will go on
I got something to say. Like, I like what the brother just said because we're not going to deny the fact. If you go to Africa, for the most part, ancient Africa, like when I was born, because I'm young, but, you know, when I was born, I see my mom cooking for my dad every day. I mean, in our various houses, it might happen. I've never seen my father go into the kitchen to go and cook. But you know, as he says, or as he said, you have to be able to identify what is right. And even when I was much younger, I used to tell my father, like, look, man, I would like to see my mom cook every day. Like, she cooks every blessed day till my father died in 2018.
Wow.
My mom has been cooking. She got married when she was 15. She
Wow.
she has been cooking till that.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
on my father's dying bed, my mom was cooking in the house.
Oh,
And you cannot imagine
you
him
seeing that?
seeing that, growing up with that, having
I didn't
that.
like that aspect because my dad might travel and come back at 2 a.m. They have to cook for me.
Oh,
There's no McDonald's.
Yeah,
It's
so-
because
so-
he's a good guy.
Yes,
It's because you're a good guy. Because some kids will grow up with that and they will transfer that into their own marriage and like, oh, my
That's why I
mom
think
cooked for my
justifies
dad.
our bad behaviors.
Yeah.
So you have to cook.
That's
Okay,
it.
that's
So
what my dad
I
did.
just believe like we need to learn. We need to, as the brother said, we need to, you know, be able to differentiate the good things from the right ones.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because I remember that my mom would always insist that our boys need to know how to cook. Because she could tell
My
that.
own father,
most
for us, my own
very
father
strange
washed
and-
for us. I remember in a neighborhood then they used to say, "Oh, Yahweh and Tifuri and Bakparo." My dad washes every Saturday with us. We are always outside washing together. We cook together with my dad. I tell people my dad was one that taught me how to use.
Do you think his own dad did that?
No,
So, but
No.
here's the
So,
thing.
and
right?
I
it
think
works
it's-
for them.
yes.
So each
It's
chose his own
different.
path.
It's
He chose his path.
So taking
Exactly.
Nigeria as the case study here, Nigerian guys are domesticated. I went to school for 3 years in Nigeria, I went to Lautech. Nigerian guys are domesticated.
Well, once
Nigerian
they
guys
get
can
someone
cook,
now.
they can clean, they can do those
Right.
So
things.
they can choose
I
not
don't know
to,
when the
right?
transition happened.
when they get, as soon as they get a woman into the house, the transition it changes. Or the rules
Should we
change.
blame women? Is it because they allowed the guy to do
Oh,
it?
yeah,
Get
maybe.
away with it?
Yes.
So where culture can play a
It's
part of
culture.
where outside influence can
Influence,
take a part
exactly.
is when the guy's mom would now come in and say,
When my dad was alive,
What
also
Thank you for that, Grace. He said when my dad was alive, he cooked for us every Sunday. And when my mom traveled, my dad cooked.
It's different.
When my
Oh,
mom-
it's just different.
When my mom traveled, when I was friend with my
On that.
and I mean, you know, I don't know if I should say it's because like in Africa, it's just, I mean, I just left Africa a few months ago, and I believe it's just a thing for them, you know. Like when a man is in the house, the females just go want to cook. Sometimes I tell them, you don't have to do all that. I can do this, you know. Just they don't
I feel like it's ingrained into us as women as well. That that's what you need to know. How to
I think the
do. And
Bible
I think
supports
we
it
still
too.
do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the Bible
Yes.
supports it
Yes,
too.
yes.
So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
now
Yeah.
you're using
Yeah.
exactly. So when you use culture and Bible to
To back it
to
up.
shock it,
Yeah,
and guilt
but
trip.
I have a question too. Why is it different over here? Because like I remember the first time I came here, I asked a girl. I was like, hey, she came to my house and I was like, can
You
mix-
tried it.
I was like, can you make something to eat? She was like,
Is something wrong
who
with you?
are you talking to? I don't cook. I
it's not that different. There are households,
Yes.
where the wife
very traditional.
Yes.
It's not that much different.
I haven't seen that.
Okay, so let me give you, I just thought of something like a culture thing that I experienced that I have personally. So I'm Yoruba, I'm not married to a Yoruba man. South. We'll keep it that way. It's not.
I'm just kidding.
So in my culture, we're used to the whole kneeling down, prostrating thing to greet, right? And it's not the same in my husband's culture. And personally, myself too, I really don't really believe in that as a sign of respect. I understand why people do it, but I don't personally think that's
Okay, solid question. Personally, now, can you stand up and greet your mommy and daddy? Personally.
Right now, I mean, when I do it out of why? Because I think they would see it as respect. If I don't do it, they're not going to say anything about
I can't
it.
remember the last time.
I'm at that age where but I will do you one better. My kids don't prostrate to greet my parents. They always go and hug them. And, and then they go but they know what they can and cannot say to them, right? And that's, so initially my people, not even my parents, people be like, this kid's not doing that. My excuse is, my husband's family do not do it, so we don't do it.
It's good for you,
That's
it's
a
good for you.
culture thing.
Now, like I always tell people, we are all different.
It's
good for you, it's working for you, but I know some people that insist on it, even in America.
I know, yeah.
They insist on it. They believe in it. They believe.
Why?
They believe. You just said it. Most of the time, we don't question things, especially as Africans. We don't question why
because it's a cultural thing.
You question things. That is why. Yes, that is why you cannot be particular about it. But for those people that don't question things, they are like, you're standing to greet my mother.
So
this is disrespectful.
Yes.
This is another place where culture gets us in trouble, right?
And they said Bible said wasn't fair to women.
It's men that wrote the Bible.
It's men that wrote the Bible.
12 disciples, no woman. So here's another thing where culture gets us in trouble, because if you think of how culture started or whatever, it's always a local community. You don't travel anywhere, so you believe how it's done in my culture is how it's done everywhere. As you start to travel, so you met a man, they don't do that in the culture.
Yeah.
You became open-minded, right?
I think I realized before.
Okay, it was a validation, right? It was a validation to your curiosity, right? So it's like the more you now travel or you interconnect and interact with other cultures, I think that starts to open your mind to where now you start questioning all these things. Okay, why do we do this? How come they don't do this in Brazil and they don't do this in Mexico and things like that? And at some point, you just drop
and
it
if you want to look at those culture things.
Okay, me, I believe in my kids kneeling down for my parents too.
Good for you.
Individual differences.
We're not saying
it's wrong or right.
What work for you, because most of the time what works for me might not work for you. So that's just the way it is.
Now, I was trying to say, like, even the culture thing is not really becoming unbecoming back home, in the sense that people are using it for money making, for generating income. Like, for example, like I'll say this: when my father died and I went back home to bury my father, it was a lot of things I was paying. When I questioned them, they say, "Oh, don't do it. The God's gonna some things. It's funny." So I just believe, like the brother said, like, because a lot of people haven't like traveled,
they're not exposed.
They're not exposed to things. Because like my mom still feels like if I don't do those things, my father might wake up one day in the middle of the night and
Did they shave your mom's head?
Yeah, they did all that.
Oh, in fact, let's talk about that. There was a story that came out in Nigeria recently about a woman that lost her husband, and they said because the husband, they actually took her and said she had to sleep with the cops. That she had to sleep. They basically kidnapped her.
Did they stay with her?
No, they actually took her around the village. She had to walk naked around the village.
Did she know that was going to happen?
Okay, that's what I want to ask about. She's actually from that place. She's from that town. She was even speaking a language and apologizing to her in I did not kill him. They said because the man was sick. It means she was cheating, and it was that cheating that killed the man.
I think it still goes back to what you said. It's people that are.
She's from that place. She herself, so she knew what that was. So I'm saying, if you know that, should you still go ahead and get married?
Did she mind?
It was love now.
No, I'm saying, did she mind? Like,
Maybe
so
she
some
didn't know.
things we don't
She's
like.
from that
or-
place.
Maybe she agrees.
Maybe she didn't know.
Or maybe she
Maybe
agrees
it's
with the
not
culture.
She,
Well,
even if
Not
she,
part
she
of
didn't
their
agree with
culture.
it.
so to your point, maybe if the husband died natural of the natural cause, she won't have to do that. She never.
But he was sick.
She never envisioned her
They
husband.
had
She
medical
never-
records and all
But she
that.
didn't envision her husband dying
Dying
that
in
way. So she never
mid-life.
thought she's
Yes,
like,
yeah.
okay, I would never have to
Yes,
do
to
that.
do that.
But now, she has
That's
to
where
do it,
the-
So.
That's why I
Thank
say
you, Adesola.
nothing
Rachel.
prepares you for when you get
The
married
actual-
because you never can tell what it will turn into.
So it's
Marriage
layers,
is
right? So even you have a husband that can protect you from all this cultural thing, and then he dies, bam.
Yeah.
Now you
Yeah,
have
all
to,
the
you have to
way
deal
to-
with
you
it, right?
enter.
Because then they'll show up, So it's, I don't know.
Anyway, thank you, Akpa Million. Thank you, Pretty Girl Madge, my baby. Thank you. Okay, no, she didn't. She didn't know what was going to happen. They lied to her that they were not going to do anything to her. Oh, that was how they took her. They lied to her they were not going to do anything to her, so she didn't know. They actually had to call on all these societies, all these women support
Civil
societies.
rights,
Yes.
women
In
rights.
fact, I think it was Dino Melai or something that because it was in Kogi State. So they had to look for a way to go send armed men to go rescue.
But they did it, right?
They rescued
She
her.
still slept with the cops, right?
Oh, she was.
How did
And
you
there
see with the
was a
cops?
video of how they were taking her all around
Not
the
sleeping
village.
with like she had to
The
sleep in the
lady-
same
Oh.
room with
Like,
cops.
I thought like sexual. How do you would like do that?
So
Stay in the same room.
To stay in the same room.
Don't
I know
know.
it's not that easy. To stay in the same room with for easy. Not
Can
like-
love supersede culture?
Can love supersede culture?
Everybody,
Again, I mean, back to what I said earlier, right?
Can.
Your marriage, your relationship. I can't speak for dating. I don't think can break up dating. But once the holy matrimony, for better for worse, has to supersede anything. Anything.
I think I agree. That's the only way you can succeed. If you get married, I think your marriage should supersede any other thing.
Okay, now let me tell you a story. She's actually divorced now. She left. She had to leave the marriage because.
I like where you're starting from.
Thank you.
But she's still married.
And now that one was even like this Yawole stuff.
Oh.
You know Yawole stuff. Like you're doing something in your husband's family, you have to
Oh, that one.
You have to cook, you have to help them to carry this and do that. She was doing it until one day that it became too much for her because she wasn't feeling good.
Oh.
She was not okay. And it became a big thing that her husband cannot even protect her from.
Why wouldn't
I
the
didn't live
husband?
in like a
No. It's
big compound of
see, this is the
families
thing.
or-
I think for the single people out there, you need to take note of someone that is culturally inclined. That's just the truth.
That's
Some
fair.
guys are culturally inclined.
Mm.
No matter how educated they are, no matter how exposed they are, they want you to go to their families as when they're having one function or the other. And when you go there, you're supposed to do something. I tell people, what you see while cutting will not change after marriage.
Exactly. That's
The misconception is once I'm married, I'll take charge. Once I'm married, I won't do that. It's you don't be wrong.
You must have been seeing the signs before you got married. Like the signs were
They
there,
have
but you
to,
just
yes.
didn't pay attention.
Exactly.
That's right. That point of
That's the love
love
I'm asking about.
intelligently. You
That's what
listen to your heart and your
you
brain.
just said love should supersede it all now.
I said once you are married.
You know,
I said once you are married.
You know, but she- that's how-
We're saying once you are married, because when you're dating, anything can happen.
Okay. So you're saying when you're dating, because I don't want us to exclude those that are not married.
Okay, so here's the thing, right?
Do you
If you're
understand?
back to your point, if you're dating, you keep your eyes open.
Exactly.
Right? What? Because the guy you're dating is going to be the guy who
You
be
married.
actually.
Most
the way I always look at it is like if you're riding high at 100%, once you get married, you probably drop to like 75, 70%, and that's before kids. If no kids there, you're rocking at 50. So it's like know that, right? So if there's a conflict while you're dating, there's a disagreement. Even on the topic between you and your guy, the parents don't even have to be there, right? Just between you guys, you can listen and see, okay, who is it defending? Is it defending the side of the family? Is it defending culture and things like that? So it's about, I mean, that's why you date now, to understand all these things. So, and at that point though, in my own opinion, love does not have to supersede culture. Because if you go like, you know what, culturally, we're not compatible.
But I love him.
I know.
I love him.
Singles, pay attention.
Because
Thank you.
that's what we
Thank
tell
you.
that's what we
Reality
tell you
will
apart.
just slap you in the face, like,
And you'll be stumped.
Exactly, yeah.
And you'll be stumped.
So are we saying
So
love?
love cover long things.
It depends.
I like this part. You said like before,
Before
like while you're
yeah.
dating, pay
Doesn't
attention.
go after marriage, cover long things.
Exactly.
It's love.
It's some.
We don't see it. We don't see it at that time.
That's what I'm saying, because
It's
it's some things you're not gonna really see except
You will not
in marriage.
see.
That's it. You got.
Because
You
if
see it,
come
no?
on, Lori, like you can't
No,
see.
you don't said
If
you
you
will
see
see
it,
some
no.
red flags. You just
You
said
will
there's
see
some
it.
signs.
Well,
You see.
for example,
You will see.
for example,
You're
right?
not paying
If I leave,
Exactly. You're not
you
paying
guys know that's I'm trying to say something very real right now, and it's a reality. If I go back home to get married right now, can you believe it's gonna be some females with bad attitude which that they're gonna pretend to me for that long? Can you believe that? Yeah, because I've seen that. I've seen that happen.
That's different. You're taking a huge risk.
Marry someone you
you
don't really know.
long distance
Across-
relationship.
I
You should be ready for all kinds of unknowns.
So, but in that case of Harry and Meghan, I'll still use them as this case study. Their love supersedes this culture.
Right now.
This
Harry is back in the
monarchy
UK.
abuse.
Harry is back in UK.
Let's go for it, grandfather.
Exactly. Harry is back in UK. He has a
But
branded
at the point of him granting that interview with Oprah,
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You know what?
share.
You know why it was easy for Harry?
Monarch.
He's not heir to the throne.
Exactly.
He's already man.
Williams
Like he's already man. Like he's
the
already man. So
picture me.
if he was the heir to the throne,
The theory was William would have done
you won't even
that.
You didn't remember there was one that abdicated that wanted to come back after.
I was actually that's how the thing
Yes,
became.
but because he abdicated and because of love
Yeah.
too. But then he wanted to come back, but it was too late.
That's why I said
But
Harry
still
and
with his wife
Meghan.
though, right?
They're
They're still together.
But they're still together.
Harry and
But
Meghan
the
like
one that abdicated.
The one that
No, I'm talking about Harry. He said he's back in UK, but
Oh no, he went for his grandfather.
But you know, we
they're still together.
don't. Let me not put that out in there.
Say it, yeah.
No, because the way these whole things work, they seem like they're together until the day we heard
But they're not. Thank you.
That's it. You just they will put
Now
up all
everybody's
kinds of
going about their love.
Okay, all of us.
Then there are battles, definitely there are battles they would be fighting between themselves, but they're not letting it out there.
See, we can't say they're not letting it out there because for me, I read body language. The interview with Oprah, I don't know, I might be wrong, but there are some times Meghan was holding Harry's hand. They said it's for support.
Body language expert.
It's for support.
So
Yeah,
what
Like
about
reaching him like get in line.
what
I'm a
about
woman now. You know what I'm talking about.
what about Davido and Choma? What's it called?
yeah, Joffrey.
There was no assurance.
What's it called?
Those ones are not married. No, they're not married.
Exactly. They have a kid. They did
But
engagement.
they're not married.
They did engagement, but they like done the engagement.
So going back to this point, at this point she has to decide if she can live with it or not.
There are some men that actually want to protect you from
Choma,
family
yeah, of
culture,
course, yes.
but
Yeah.
find them
Why you bring
find
that?
themselves helpless due to certain unavailable factors, especially when financial aid comes from your family.
That is not culture.
No, I mean like they want to protect that wife from
But family
family culture, but then the family the one financing the
When
marriage,
they
the
say
relationship.
hustle,
They have to say. They have to say.
Yeah,
they tell you to hustle.
stakeholders.
That's never in your relationship.
That's not culture. That's
But I have a question, and this is kind of different because I have it down here. Like I'm gonna ask for everyone's opinion on this. Okay, so when it comes to
Someone said invite us to talk. Oh, okay. We don't know how we'll do that, but we'll look into that. Kemi Desire, we'll look into that. Thank you.
okay, so I read a story of a couple, newly wedded couple, and the mom started calling the the daughter-in-law, the wife, like, okay. So what did you feed him today?
Oh, wow.
What did he eat today? How is he doing? You
That's
know,
not culture.
interfering into the affair. So who is responsible for cutting the interference?
The
The
husband.
husband.
So the rule of thumb is the man deals with his side of the family, the woman deals with her side of the family. Like if I was to get into it with my father-in-law, it's my wife's
She won't like
responsibility
it.
to.
She won't even like it.
Exactly.
I won't like it if you get to put my mother in a place. Even though she's overstepping, I'll expect you to come talk to me to put my mom in a
Right.
place. Not you going to my mom. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so because this lady now started, it went on, and she started feeling inadequate. Because the guy's mom would,
Was the husband aware of this?
of course,
You didn't
mommy's boy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is not culture.
That is
That's
boy.
just
That's a barrier.
But guess though, you will see that while you're dating. You will see that while you're dating. Yes.
Signs must have been there.
Yes.
And even the way he talks about our
Yep.
children, I mean, it's like he said, the way he responds to situations involving his mom.
Okay, so how would you react to this? What if mom comes to your, to your home, and maybe you made steak for your spouse, and she's like,
And give him
no, that's not
salad.
the way he likes it.
He's not used to eating
He's
it
not
that way.
used to eating. That's not the way he likes his steak.
The mom
The
came to
mom,
my house.
yes,
Why is my
and
mom cooking in
like-
my house?
No, not
she's
cooking.
telling
The wife that, oh,
that-
the steak that your wife made for you is like, oh,
Not
that's
the way
not the
you're
way
eating.
Akin
So
likes
it's
it.
the crazy thing is
No.
like my taste bud has since changed my life. I'm serious. So
Well,
like,
to some guys, these things are happening.
well, this is how he likes it now. I mean, this is how he likes it now.
I just feel like well, some men did take some. I understand like it's not cool for like women to interfere or your mother-in-law.
mother-in-law.
But I'm saying for me, if I'm married and my mother-in-law comes and tell me, oh, she's not cooking this good food, I'll just laugh about it. Say, okay, man, that's how I want it. Just de-escalate, to de-escalate the situation. Start really-
Okay, he's saying as a man that he will just say, that's the way I like it.
Yeah, but you can do that the first time. But if she insists on,
May
inserting
God not let
herself
us
She'll
meet.
stop coming.
May God not let us meet mother-in-laws from hell.
So let me bring
Amen.
us back. So, talking about what we've been talking about, is that family or culture? And I'll bring that back
I don't
to,
think that's culture.
and I'll bring that back to Harry and
I
Meghan.
think they intertwine.
Yeah.
I think family intertwine with
Interrelation,
culture.
interrelation.
Yeah, it
they're
depends
very
on the
intertwined.
perspective we're viewing it from. Because
Right.
culture is a pattern of doing things, the way
Way
of
of life.
life is a pattern of,
Right.
oh, this is the way we do it in our family. I have to visit your home after 2 weeks of getting married as your mother-in-law. But like you said,
If you come, I'll be naked.
they must have been seeing this.
Don't make us so uncomfortable.
She was not married. Okay, come.
That's okay. And we have a number for you to call if you want to be involved in this. If you want to give us your own opinion, you can call 678-499-6416. 678-499. Actually, plus one. Plus one.
From Nigeria.
Yeah, plus 1-678-499-6416. You can call us and give us your own views and opinion about how culture is affecting your relationship or affected your relationship. So there was this story that I saw this week. It was I lost my train of thought.
So why are you gathering your chain of thought? So, I mean, we made a lot of assumptions about marrying within the same culture, within the same country. Understanding other people's culture, and I hate to say this, female circumcision is still a thing in
It is.
some culture.
Tribal map.
And all those things, right? So if you go marry someone, say from Sierra Leone, where I think female circumcision is still a thing, you need to understand that. Sometimes those things don't come up in conversations.
Yeah.
Now you have a daughter. Now it's like, yo, what?
What
Are we doing this or are we not?
You know what do
Yeah.
So whose culture should dominate? Okay, so you marry from a culture where they do
Okay,
things like
now but
you're
you're asking a
doing
question
marriage.
as an American.
That's
Okay?
deep, that's deep.
That's an American way of asking a question. We are Africans that we know we don't have that option of asking whose question should we do.
So if you-
As women, we are told straight up, yes, you are marrying this man, is his way of life.
Yes, I agree.
That's
But
what
he just talked about going outside of Nigeria, and then we're going to Sierra Leone, we're going to all these different other places. I can tell you, like, our own way too is the women's family and culture that dominates. So let's find it out.
Actually, I find that interesting though, because I feel like the dominant person in the relationship.
You know what I mean? It's the culture.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like
The person usually
it's the person that dictates what goes
Yes,
on.
I think it's
And the
so
dominant
right.
person in the relationship was going to be the guy.
No,
Yes,
but naturally, it's the guy.
9 times out of 10 is going to be the guy.
Yes, you can call him. You can call him. Let me. Someone just said yes, so we can call in. Yes, we can. The number is 1678-499-6416. I was actually planning on bringing someone. Before I decided to bring this to ViewPoint, I'll reach up with her. I was planning on bringing someone who is an American that is married to a Nigerian. Because then it's one thing for us to sit down here and give you our opinions. When you talk to someone that have actually lived it, you get a different perspective. So we are still going to do that. I'm still going to do that. I had to change it because something came up for her. If you talk to someone that married from another country, I'm not even talking about Hausa marrying Igbo. No, it's a different because to a certain extent, I know what an Igbo man can do.
Right.
Because I'm a Yoruba, we are from Nigeria. But now when I now go to marry a Brazilian, it's a total different ballgame. So we are sitting down here and saying, yeah, that is it. Let the person that is living it come and sit down and tell you what they had to go through, what they had to face. Especially, I know someone that's married to an Igbo. She's Igbo, she's an American, she married an Igbo. And once she started talking, she's an American, funny enough. I would have said, she won't stand for it. Like, you can just call it BS and whatever. But no. So these issues are actually real. They are real life issues. They are things that are affecting relationships now. And like all these marriage counselors will say, they tell single people, talk about everything. Talk about everything. Actually, that's what courtship and dating is all about. There was one thing I saw recently. The girl is like, so what question should I ask a guy on dates when I go out on dates? I asked him everything. Everything, no. Yeah, I did not do it. I'm not going to sit here and form and say I did not. So go out, ask anything, ask him.
I get to come up with a list of questions. Like, see, it's question 1 to 20.
How deep can we go on date 1? How deep can we go on 2 and 3?
There was someone that asked me
Some things have to be spontaneous.
Yeah,
but it's
those things that is important to you
when they come up.
To be honest, I feel like your make and break should be your day 1 conversation. Like,
Tell
why
me,
even waste your time?
bam.
Like, why even
Bam.
waste your time?
Yeah.
Like, your make or break should be your day 1
What's the purpose
conversation.
of this relationship?
There was this girl that went out on a date and she was asking the guy, what's your 5-year plan?
I saw that video.
Yeah, people were like, how can she be asking that kind of a question in the first date?
No, the guy was the one asking her.
No, this one was the girl. They crucified this girl on Twitter.
Why?
Oh.
That why would she ask that question on your first date?
I think
that
it depends if they're 21.
The video I saw was the guy asking, and then she came on and was, put it out there, like she went on a date too, and this guy was asking her what's her 5-year.
No, this one.
And then the guy now came and said, does it not make
I have a
sense?
plan. Yes, I have a plan.
That's a good guy. Asking for your
That's
partner
a
is
That's a question for you to evaluate.
He has a plan.
Especially if you have a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you have a
How
5-year
you
plan.
going to say you want to know how I feel into your 5-year plan? You guys just met.
Regardless, what I mean is, how doesn't necessarily me as a person, but how does a relationship? So if I'm saying, what's your 5-year plan, and you're talking about go to medical school, do fellowship, do this, I don't fit in your 5-year plan. I don't fit in your 5-year plan. This person doesn't have time for me. Especially my own 5-year plan is 2 kids in 3 years. So it's like.
Please spell the number slowly. Okay. 1, 6, 7, 8, 4, 9, 9, 6,
Even
4,
this I forgot.
1, 6.
That's still fast.
Call it. 1, 6, 7,
7,
8,
8,
4,
4,
9, 9, 6, 4, 1, 6. 1, 6, 7, 8, 4, 9, 9, 6, 4, 1, 6.
Awesome.
Thank you, Edna Odun, for joining in. Thank you all so much. So that's the number. I wish we could project that number. Can we project the number?
You can type.
Okay, so the number is on the screen. It's been projected on the screen. I don't know if they can see it on Instagram.
You
Because
can
they're
pin
asking.
the number. You can pin it on Instagram.
And you know, I don't know how to
Oh,
do those
okay.
things. Do you want me to give you to do it? I don't know how to do it.
Bros can pin it.
I said the number is on there. Anyway, the number is on the screen if you can see it. So let's go back and talk about culture and love influencing you. Okay, you said you're not a cultural person, but let's talk to people that are in a relationship with a cultural person.
No, he must have his own culture now, not being the cultural person.
Formating my own culture.
So he has
So
his
what's
own
your
culture,
culture
so he
that you're
can.
formating?
I mean,
Everybody
live at
has.
peace with all men.
What's your own what cultural thing do you think you do? What's your way of life when it comes to relationship?
Like he said, the same thing with
Are you
me.
the same? Is that
So what's in
I
like
just
in my
want to
marriage? What's important? I mean, what's important is the
Our time is up. So,
I
let's
just have one culture.
the health of the marriage. Exactly right. The
Nigerian
culture.
disintegration.
That's not
What did you say?
I'm just a stone
Nigerian
Biafra.
disintegration.
Oh.
Okay, thank you Tofumi for writing up the numbers and putting them out there. Thank you so much. So you were saying something?
I mean, the culture is the culture that unites us within my family. That's the culture.
Yeah, something that's working for you is your way of life actually, and that's your culture.
But things like respect, because also raising kids, right? So one of the things I'm passing on to my kids is the good things from our culture, which is respect, love, caring, all those things, So, but like prostrate, tribal marks. Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's read something quickly. How many of us believe in speaking our local languages to our kids? Like, so people say your kids should speak Yoruba. Because I believe that, I agree, like, to some extent,
like I said,
kids
for
should
me,
be able to.
is if most of the times I've come to discover that the language you speak most in the house is what the kids will do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
It's
you have to make a conscious effort.
you're married to a Yoruba man. She's married to a Yoruba man, they speak Yoruba. The kids are speaking it. When I was married to a Yoruba man. We have children, most likely. No, because the thing is they tend to pick what you speak as parents.
Yeah.
So even if you want them to understand your language, you most likely will have to force it.
It's something that I think the
yeah.
Asians, Hispanics, they've done a really good job about.
Even the French, I think we're the only ones that
They speak it in thoughts, like today.
But is that really a thing?
What?
Your local language or French, English?
I'm saying, like, how come those people are? It's like their
just
language is their
Is
kids'
the
first
importance
language.
they give to
For
it?
us, we're trying to.
To not.
Yeah.
But like those languages are used like internationally. Like they don't use Yoruba to apply
But
for.
they don't use Yoruba inside my household now. Yoruba should be the language inside my household. For the first 2-3 years, my child is inside my household. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So why is he still speaking English?
I mean,
They are saying what are you saying? They are saying blah 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 blah.
But they will pick.
They will pick.
It even happened before the start of the show. I think my son did something and I'm like, kilo share. And he asked, oh, you mean what's happening? You mean what's happening? No. His own interpretation is like kilo. Yeah, I said, oh, you mean what's happening? I said, no. What's wrong with you?
And the pickup.
So
I think for my
kids.
kids, we've got to the point where it's so intriguing now they watch Mama Ojo. And it's like, the other day, Elijah was cracking a joke. It was like, Mama Ojo sọ pé màá rọ̀jò àti sí ẹlẹ́tì. Like, who is this? I'm like, what does it mean? And he said, Mama Ojo said, I will slap you. I'm like,
You don't force it.
So still, I still have a question. What is so
What's so
intriguing
special about
what
it?
is
Why
this?
do they
So for me, I don't need my kids to speak. I would like for them to understand. Because I don't want them to be in the subway in Brooklyn and some Yoruba people are visiting them and I don't know. Which was, it was a real nice experience for me. With a friend who was in New York, and somebody was standing in the train, and somebody was like, "Hello, what they did is what I do." And I would look back and say, "Hello, Rana." There's a situation where, like, you don't want a situation where your kids are in an environment where they're talking about them and they can
actually know. They might know if you let them understand it.
Another thing about it that I believe is, at some point, no matter how westernized your home is, they'll question the identity. Especially if you're, the name, they're not Smith, they're not Coles, they will question it. And they need to have, if you're going to strip off all of this tribal marks and they need to have something that gives them a sense of, genuineness of who they are.
Yeah.
Because this environment will make them question.
It happens in school.
This
environment. What are you talking about?
That's Nigeria where everybody they run.
No, we're
talking about this environment.
Raising kids here, raising black kids, raising Nigerian kids.
Yes.
When you're doing attendance, I will chip in what happens at school. When you're doing attendance, calling the names, their friends know that this is not an American name. This is Oguntimehin. And they will even make fun of like they just, but gradually, even when they're playing on the playground, there's this, we have bullies in school. Do you get? They just want to try them, and sometimes these kids, they know their God and they know their rights. They're like,
they'll show them that
they let them know they have their names are good enough.
They will, they will. Stand up to them.
With someone in my office, I have a colleague at work that always asks me, pronounce your last name again. She always, and when I do, be like, I can't even try.
Like, you should try.
No, you have to try. If I can say your name,
you can say
you can say mine.
They do me at work, I don't feel my name.
Yes, that's to you. I said, it matters to you, you will learn how to pronounce it.
If I can try to say your last name or your name, then you should be able to. Just make an effort.
Czech names, they'll call Russian names, they'll call Asian names, they'll make the effort. But then they look at you and then they're telling you, I'm not even going to try.
Somebody misspelled my name at work one day and I let him have it. Like,
oh, really?
My name is, my signature
so
is
simple.
signed. All you have to do is look down and retype it.
So for our fellow Nigerians that are here, you can even break your names into syllables. Like my last name is long and Oguntimehin. I can't even say that. I'll just call you Miss O. But if you want to try, I'll break it into syllables for you. Then let's make an effort.
Exactly, it's the effort. Make the effort. That's why I usually, once she asked, can you tell me your name again? I said, get out. As in, leave me alone. Because if you really want to know, you made the effort to know. You don't tell me I can't even pronounce that thing. You're not interested. Why are you asking me?
Yeah, that's right. My kids insist. They insist that their teachers and their friends should call them.
I remember Lovina did the same thing.
Oh yeah,
she was
kindergarten.
Yeah,
the woman loved like till
she
days.
corrected the woman until the woman got it.
Whenever the teacher is there, then she will say, correct.
Every time I would type and I would write his name right, and she would respond and she would write it wrong every single time. So I decided that son's name is Robbie, and I decided to also write Ronnie. Yes. And then she had to
but the point
because she would like it.
Yeah, but the point we're making here is be proud of your culture. Be proud of what you're transferring, the legacy we're giving.
Yeah, be proud of who you are. Because the cultural thing can be very dicey. Because I would say I'm a cultural person, but there are some things I can still take and use for myself. Like you said, I would say the good ones, the good stuff. So we can't really say we are going to do away with culture like that. There are still some good things you can take from it.
As much as I say I'm not a culture, like I'm not cultural and things like that, you would know I'm a Nigerian in 5 minutes.
Straight up.
That's true.
I will let you know I'm Nigerian.
Yes.
I don't even need to let you know. You see me, you know.
Abuja Prince. What are you talking about? Abuja Prince.
If I tell you what my job title is, I've told you I was born and raised in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Oh, and they will call me at work and they will say, they will even lie you and say, your accent. You are the one that taught me that because I recognized. I said, no, I did not. You recognize my accent does not mean I did.
Yeah, most times
because they want to pin something on you because you are the odd one out.
And they feel you cannot defend
yourself.
Because they have that against Nigeria.
So build your character up, build your self-esteem, build your self-esteem. Don't let anybody tear you down. Me, I'm a big advocate for that. Like, I'm me, and I own it. Someone called me short, he has left. This is a shade. Someone called me short. I own my shortness.
I still love her.
Thank you,
I think we've actually covered everything we have on here, except you want to say some things about culture. Okay, let's talk about your wife. Is she a cultural person? She's for her. She's for her. And she will argue with me, or she will say no.
My wife is not but my wife is she has some things that she holds on to. So I think we're like-minded when it comes to that.
That's good.
So yeah.
That's good. So Miss O, are you a cultural person?
Okay, can you call me so good to me? Because you're not American.
Would you say you're a cultural person?
I would say I am. Talking about my marriage, my home, I am. You can tell that I'm a cultural person. Even though my husband does not enforce...
Your husband is a cultural person.
It is there, of course. He does not enforce cooking and all that, but it's just in me. I just feel uncomfortable if I don't cook.
Exactly. Now let's talk about that.
I get out from work and I want to
cultures
cook.
that have been instilled in us.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in as much as we want to say I'm a cultural person, I don't believe in this. There are some things that have been instilled in us that we can't do without.
But you love cooking. You're not doing it because
Yeah, exactly.
culture.
Personality
You just
also.
want to cook.
Okay.
Okay. You can. Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, good afternoon there and good evening to all here in Africa. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Loud and clear.
Okay, everybody in the studio.
Yes.
My name is Phil. I'm calling from Lagos, Nigeria.
Oh.
Thank you for calling in, Shim.
Yeah, but the audio is not very clear though, but I just want to chip in something which I have not heard since. And it's the fact that I think everybody who is not yet married should also put this into consideration. There is something they used to do back then that we no longer do now, and that is the fact that before you get married into a family, there is a group of people, I will call them committee members of the family now, that do thorough investigations on the family you want to marry into. This is not about the person you even want to get married to, but the family itself. Because, you sometimes, like my people will say, when you're getting married, you're not marrying just that person, you're marrying the entire family. I don't know, I'm not the kind of person that will find into that will say, yes, you're marrying everybody. But in the true sense of it, you're actually marrying everybody.
Yes,
because when there is an occasion that you think, okay, your husband or your wife has to attend, you would also want to go to. It's a family thing. And thereby, you're marrying everybody. Now, there are some families where when the husband dies, when the wife dies, the husband must marry somebody from that family again. But that's like it or not. Same goes for the women too. So I think that culture is actually dying, especially in Nigeria. It used to be there, but it's now dying. When you make investigations about family, nowadays you fall in love, you just meet the parents of the person you want to marry, and then that's it. Everybody carries on. But lovely show, lovely people in the studio. I enjoy all of you, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you. We appreciate your call. And so let's go right into what you just said.
Yeah.
So you said
the investigative part.
Yeah. Well, I think I understand what he's trying to say. Like when you want to marry someone, you take the person home, your parents will tell you, okay, hold on, let me investigate. Let me find out about this person's family. And I think it's because, like he rightly said, we are told that you are not just marrying someone, especially we as women.
So.
They tell us you are not just marrying someone, you are marrying the whole family. And so you need to know what goes on in that family. So that is saying now that the investigative part of it is not happening anymore, and he thinks it needs to start or continue or go on.
I mean, for me, for the most part, that investigative part of it is when I remember when my uncle came back from America, was trying to get married. So yeah, they had to tell my parents and tell them to like go back, which he brought the girl to the house, and they was like, go back, we're gonna do investigations, see whether she's not married back home or she's not doing something crazy. Or stuff. I don't really feel like it's really important.
I mean, you do investigation and then you bring results. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean,
I agree with that. I agree with that. That culture, that aspect of the
you do
culture.
investigation.
Well, I don't know.
The
if
kind of
they do.
investigation that I know we do is they will say, let's go and pray.
Yeah,
You say let's
that's
have
the spiritual. This thing, but that culture is true. It's fading. What's it? It's gone.
Investigative?
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, but
but
you
I don't
know-
think we did it. Like in my family, we did not.
For the-
But some do.
For the most part, we cannot really throw out that aspect too for investigating.
Because I think it's important.
Because
You work for them.
Actually,
That's
I've seen
actually.
people that actually it's some females who, like I've seen a man who was trying to come get married to a female, and they was like, okay, just hold on, let's do a little investigation and see what is really going on. Actually, the lady was suffering from mental health.
So, when do we slide from RNG marriage to investigative marriage? 'Cause
I think they all still go.
at some point was RNG now.
Yeah, I mean, RNG is still on now. RNG is still going on now.
I mean,
It's still happening.
RNG is going on now.
It's still happening.
Yeah, they still do.
No,
It's still happening in Nigeria.
And it's not
pastors in
working.
Nigeria
for
RNG
most
is still
people.
happening in Nigeria.
Oh yeah.
So
pastors in
when
Nigeria
they've
support
done the investigation, they say, oh, this family and our family match, and so you marry. But the kids don't match. So who's going to leave
There's so many
the
things that
life?
can skew the result of the investigation too. Like you go investigate a family with money. I mean, are you gonna come back and
everything
say,
goes
"Yeah,
fine."
exactly.
See, the thing when they do this investigation, I don't think they are looking at wealth or no wealth. They are looking at maybe there is something they do in their
Some
family,
kind of sickness.
some kind of sickness, some culture they practice in their family that they know you won't accept.
Or
I
that might
understand what you're
conflict
saying.
with
It's
your
some
culture.
conflict that will conflict with who you are as a person.
I think that all of us, whether we like it or not, and we're all going at different paces, we've evolved over time.
No, I think you as a person does the investigation now.
Yeah,
I think
and
the
that's
difference.
because
That's
Yes.
dating now.
and that's why I said we've all evolved over time is I want to believe, there are some things that were being done during my parents' time that they didn't do, that their parents must have done that they didn't do because they had moved away from those things. So if you're going to start investigating families, what's the benchmark? Like, is it, what if it's not, I think personally,
That's the benchmark.
exactly, personally for me, I think the first step is both of you have to agree on, a whole host of things and say, okay, we can live together. And then you have to decide who are the stakeholders in this relationship.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay,
Because
if
if
you
you
see the
see
stakeholders
anything-
is talking about
I
is this idea of you're not just marrying this person.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's
Yeah.
where the problem
Well, okay,
is.
let's-
If they're not
let's-
stakeholders,
Yes.
whatever they do
That's
or
where the
don't
problem
do
is.
won't matter in your marriage.
But what is marriage? The Bible says you
You leave your father and mother.
I think that's the problem. The problem is I'm not just marrying this person, I'm
We
marrying
are all
the family.
Christians.
So that's where the problem is.
But the truth is we have to look at it this way, right? Because we cannot just say if I meet a girl right now and I want to marry. People marry for different motives.
Right.
So if you, it's a whole lot going on. So I think the investigative part of it, I will not really want to wipe it away. I'm not even gonna lie, because if you meet some females or some men, they're gonna lie.
We're not saying you should wipe it away. We're saying how do you
Who's doing
find
it and how are you
things?
doing it? Yeah.
Like you said, if I do my little investigations, I'll take the things I could take and what I cannot take, I'll keep it away.
So,
Okay, so-
how do you do it though? Do you throw the
Sorry,
results
let me ask you.
on
Let
the
me ask
scale?
just the question. So, you want to marry someone, you met her. Let's even say you met her here, and you guys have dated for a while. And you feel like, okay, this is the next step. And you go home, you're from maybe the same or the next village, and it's close enough. And then they come and tell you, you can't marry her because two people in our family have done this and that. Maybe our great uncle and our grandfather did something. It's not enough reason for you to think, or let's even say, okay, it's the women in our family. I've seen families where they would break the relationship because they don't live beyond 50 years.
Yeah.
Is that not a good reason?
I don't don't know if it's good enough reason. Why? Is it a particular? Is it some hereditary thing? Is it access to medication? Is it?
Hold on, excuse me. What you're saying is very right. It's very right. Because like if for example, if I go to marry in a certain family and they say they don't live for more than 50 years, it's going to be evidences for me to. I'll not just be like, okay. I'll say, hey, like a little person right now. I'll be like, hey, I want to actually see. I want to see why you telling me they don't live above 50 years.
Okay, why are they dying?
Yeah, if I see all of those things,
okay, I'm taking my question somewhere. Okay, so you validate that, and it's right. Mm-hmm. So the chances are high that this lady who you know you're not going to marry is not going to live beyond 50 years.
No.
I'm taking my question somewhere. So because it's happened, there are good chances, right? Maybe now if you find out what the reason is, you can do, mitigating efforts to try to change that. But there are good chances. But you love her.
Yeah.
So what decision do you make at that point?
Okay.
Exactly. That's
You're right. All those things they tell me, I'll take it into consideration. I'm not gonna be so shallow-minded not to look. Okay, that's fine. I love her. I'm gonna get married to her.
You said the same thing.
Yeah.
You need to take some. Once you see something, once you find out something before marriage, that you cannot take.
If I
go your way.
For example, if I go to a family,
so that's something you can't take.
No.
It depends on what the father. Yes. It depends on what the
But you don't think. How do you know you will get to 50?
Okay, so this is my point.
They don't get to 50. We get to 50.
So this is my point. Yeah, this is my point, right? So if I see the lady, I really like her, like we've dated for a while, and actually if she told me that aspect, right, I'll know, okay, she didn't lie to me in the first place. And maybe she might not even look at that to be important. That's why we're doing the investigation. So when I get to know those results, I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm not going to get married to you just because they say they don't live. No. She might need prayers. We might go into prayers.
The psychology of it.
No, we might go into.
Once it turns 47, we're like. The psychology of it.
Trust me, it's gonna be there. The psychology is gonna be there. You can't. It's gonna be part of you. You can't run away from it. But for someone like me, if I really see a lady like that and I really like this lady, we've dated, she has not shown me any reason whatsoever not to get married to her or believe in her. If I go to her family and they tell me they don't live above 50 years, I will try to know. I can even do, I don't know how you're calling it biology. My decision is going to be like, I mean, if I like the lady.
It's true they died 50.
Love
you.
I'm driving there. Like, as a Christian, if I really do like this girl, it's nothing God cannot do except we don't believe in God.
They died.
So this scenario.
I understand. I'm saying like I'm not gonna like me. My marriage is gonna be guided under Christianity. I'm not saying if it's Muslim or if
death is part of Christianity.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's part of it. But
still, I'm insisting because
like
if this is that.
It's not so. I've seen cases where we've prayed and the person.
I know those causes are there, but thank you. That one is a known.
Maybe that's why you don't live to 50.
Maybe that's why they don't live to 50.
But this issue of Odun made a point about okay, maybe your own investigation is that spiritual aspect of you're gonna go pray. I mean, I've seen maybe it happened to us. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but they told my mother-in-law that in our family. Take a demo or one for they don't give birth. They're not.
Are you first time? Damn.
Shut. But
I'm coming right there.
You know what? They told him. I think he told me or she told us that that pastor said that family.
In our family,
this happens in your family and all that. Myself we went into prayers like no, this is not a portion. It's agreement.
Okay. There's one thing I need to say. I believe in the power of words, and I believe you should be careful what you let people plant into your life.
Yes,
that's my own view.
Because
so when you go down, but when you go down that investigative,
you should be open to anything.
You are opening yourself.
You should be open to anything. Yes, you should be open.
Trust me, the investigative part of that aspect of investigating can actually spoil relationships.
It can,
Actually,
yes.
yeah, but I'm saying we can't be shallow-minded. We can't say it's not important or it's not.
Yes, I agree.
Because trust me,
I agree.
like I've had a friend who came from Germany. I was still back. I was in the university at that time. So he was trying to get married to this girl, and at a certain point we did everything, and then we was trying to go see the family and everything. And someone came and was like, they don't give birth in their family. They don't.
How do they procreate those?
How did they give back to him?
We went over there, and they was like, oh, they have 3 sisters. She has 3 sisters. They married. They're not giving birth. I said, man, that's not. So when he actually got married to the girl, she traveled to Germany. She got her first son, and he died.
Yes.
Like I think miscarriage or something happened, and he was still with the girl. Now they have 3 kids, 3 boys. So those things.
Okay, the first child died.
Yeah, so those things is just I don't know, but still we don't have to be like don't listen to us.
Yeah, but at the
Just to
same
your
time,
point,
we
once you go down that path.
Yeah, we mystify. Our culture mystifies so many things.
Like
so many things.
But there are spiritualities. There are spiritual things that we don't want to delve into. Now, as Africans, it's not culture.
It's different. If they tell me in their family, they they have this little god that they serve, or they have to do this, they have to do that, or they do this sacrifice, the 7 day.
I'm talking about this dying at 50. I'm talking about this dying at 50. Dying at 50 may actually not have any medical reasons. I've seen someone like that. There was no medical reasons. Once they are getting to 50, I am telling you, I am
of course, we Africans, we can't deny that aspect.
High blood pressure is still a lot of people in
I've seen
Africa
a lot
they can't
of.
explain.
They used to say in my family that they have this abiku thing. Until
no, it's not just your family, it was the Yoruba.
But they had some
They
had some people that would survive. Then they would say it's because they had done this, they had done that, and then this.
If that is someone that they will die, that all autopsy will not even show you the reason.
But the truth is, we cannot still be ignorant of
the devil.
So we can't. I don't expect us to.
Like me now, I know my grandfather did not die. I know for a fact.
He didn't die.
He did not die.
I was thought
It's something I know, so I'll not be stupid and I say there's no spiritual or there's nothing working.
You can't believe in God and not think the other side doesn't exist.
That's what I'm saying. You just say what you don't know cannot kill you.
But you don't know.
You don't know, but
If you get HIV, you don't know it will sick you.
Should someone now judge you?
If you get HIV, you don't know it will sick you.
Should someone judge
You live longer. You live longer than if you do.
there's no spiritual.
You will sick you, right?
I'm not saying there's no spiritual connotation. Like everything is spiritual.
It's controlled in the spirit.
What I'm saying is, so now someone wants to marry you, and they go and do investigation. Our grandfather did not die.
It depends on
we have
that.
evidence that.
It depends on that. It depends on you. It depends on that. Some people will say, yes, I bet I'm
you display something out of the ordinary, but the person is thinking,
Psychology.
Yes. We can't. I agree with what Justice is saying. We can't say investigation is wrong because it depends on you. Like, will I go and investigate? No, kill him.
So I guess what I would like to know is how has the result of the investigation helped marriages?
I won't say marriages because most of the time they don't end up getting married.
but maybe they should have, because
Maybe
they move on and then they get into broken.
We won't know.
I mean, we just want to say this way. He has his pros
No, but I've seen it that decide on the call.
The investigative committee might be wrong. It might be like the first day I set my eyes on you as my brother's wife. I don't like you, and I'm in that committee.
See, that's why you need to. If you are getting married, for the single ones out there, look out for someone that is their own person, because that's one other thing. If you are not your own person and you're a yes man to everybody, then there is a problem. There is a problem.
That's where the stakeholder comes from.
Exactly.
Like, who are the people that are going to influence this person?
And even if there are people surrounding you, can you make your own decision and stand by it and defend it on your own?
Okay, I'll throw a controversy into that. For some people, it's not the family, it's the church, it's the pastor.
Yeah.
It still goes down to you as that person. It still goes down to you.
Exactly.
It still goes down to you as the guy, you
So
as the lady.
yeah, that's the point. You just need to figure
My pastor
out
said,
who are the
my pastor
voices
said.
that influence this person. You would hear it in their conversation. My pastor said, my pastor said, my pastor said,
Yeah,
my mom said,
my mom
my
said.
dad said,
Yeah.
my brother.
For the
You
most
should
part, right
be
now in
sensitive
Africa is the
to-
pastors, because the pastors in Africa just want to hook you up with anything.
You are letting them pull you up.
I'm just
That's what
enjoying
I'm
that.
saying. You're letting them pull you
I'm
up.
just enjoying their hook.
Just be yourself. You know, be yourself. Trust your spouse.
Trust each other.
Trust each other, and
Have each other's
agree.
back.
Because at the end of it all, you're both gonna live your life. You're gonna leave your legacy for your, for your kids.
This thing is deep, man. Because I just thought about
It's-
something
it's
you
the
said
priorities,
about
you.
okay, yeah, you can protect yourself, you can defend yourself, and then something happens, someone dies.
That's it. Then you're open to
Culture is big. I think we're undermining it.
yeah.
I think
It's not
because
it's not black and white.
it's not black and white. It extends beyond the relationship.
Love.
And unfortunately, love ends at death.
Oh, sure, you typed something.
Yeah.
Can you please send it back? I was trying to read it and then
Love ends at death. So,
That's what makes life rich and beautiful. The fact that you can't map it out and it will go exact way that you mapped it out. Yeah, always
like my
throwing,
people would say
curves.
about spouse is easier to handle than terrible in-laws. Okay, we will agree to this.
I don't know about that one. You can argue
different
that.
headache.
I think
you don't want bad spouse. You
It's
don't
all
want terrible
influencing.
in-laws.
It's all
I think
who is
it's-
influencing you.
I mean, you
It
spend
might be
more.
your in-laws, it might not be
You
your
spend more
in-laws.
time with your spouse
Than
than
you
you do
than you do your
So,
in-laws,
yeah,
yes.
it's different
I think it's the influences.
I think if I get married, I think I'll care about my in-laws, but I don't think they'll be able to influence my marriage if I don't
That's
know.
what you
If they are influencing your wife, there is a problem.
The wife will go now, we'll marry my I'm serious. I don't feel like if I go and get married,
So you're not bad for better or for worse.
I'm for better for worse, but I'm for better and for worse, but I'm not gonna be for better and for death, because I'm not gonna be for better and for unhappy. If I get,
That's the worst now.
that's what I'm saying. So if I get married to you,
You won't be unhappy.
if I get married to you and we're doing something and you don't tend to listen to me, or you don't tend to we don't tend to work together, you think your in-laws are better, you go and meet them.
You know,
It's
we
as
say
simple as
that
that.
thing.
There's a way they influence that you don't even
Yes.
If you allow that gap,
Indirectly, they
if you allow
Directly
that
or
gap
indirectly, you go and meet them.
and
It's
allow
as
this
simple as
third
that.
voice, third party to be a part of your
It's more
decision making
your,
of marriage,
it's more you. It's you.
you have opened yourself up.
I want people want to come outside and blame pastors and say pastors did this. I'll tell them who are the two people involved.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who are the two people
Because you
involved?
allowed
The pastor will have you abused all the time.
You have to see.
But what's your own?
You have to understand this, right? I don't want to say women are feeble-minded or something, but they are easy.
Those people say
Yeah, I'm saying like,
Because we're expressing it here now, sitting here, right here, right
I'm
now.
saying that, like, for the pastor thing, like the pastors, the women tend to look at the pastors in a different way.
My
especially-
father was a pastor.
Especially in Africa, I'm saying
And,
especially.
oh wait, my father was a pastor. And there are some things I learned from my father that no other pastor will come and tell me to do.
That's you.
That's me. That's what I'm saying. It's still the both of you.
As a child of the
If
pastor.
you let a
That's what I'm
pastor
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Very well.
That's what I'm saying.
I tell you, my father was a pastor, but my father was not this. It's not this pastor that we are all talking about. That's what I'm
Not
saying.
the look.
So my dad was a pastor,
one-
but there are still some things he laid down for me. First and foremost, they had 4 girls, and the one thing he made sure was to build their confidence.
That's important.
He did that. My father is this person that will call his 4 daughters and give them money to be counseling, so that you don't get enticed, swayed by money. My father is this person that believes you need to empower your daughter.
That's fine.
And
I
that's
understand
you.
you. Just
So
because
I'm talking for generally
you're
for-
counting
It's not
money.
even generally.
Just okay.
We are all about
Okay, that's
this.
fine.
Let you make you,
Yeah, he's trying to
Yeah.
make a
Just
point
because-
about women.
Just because you're counting money don't mean you can't be influenced by money.
I can't. Me.
That's you.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm saying generally, the way women see pastors in Africa is different. Women, they worship these men.
It's not really because of money.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not because of money.
It's not because of work.
It's not
Yes,
work.
position.
Exactly.
They want to
Charisma
belong. Yeah, they
that
want
those
to be.
pastors
It's
have.
true. It's the gospel.
They will kneel down for pastor, you know, kneel down for the husband.
See, I've gone to Africa and I've seen a woman worshiping a pastor and cannot even serve the husband in the house with food. It's so that's the way. That's just it.
Pastor is coming to visit, and I'll cook. I'ma cook everything.
I agree with you. What?
But the crazy thing,
I
so the
don't
crazy thing
find
about
it
this whole
fun.
culture thing in marriage, right, is you're supposed to actually bring a little bit of yours and a little bit of mine, and they're supposed to create ours. But the issue most people run into is
It's my
they
will.
want my
Highway.
exactly like it's mine.
Mine
Like, this
dominates.
is how we do it in our household.
Mine
This is how we
dominates.
do it in our household. And it's like, okay, wait, where's the compromise and where are all those things that are supposed to make your marriage work?
Alrighty, we've gone way more than time. Thank you, Amakande. Thank you. Okay, he's right. Just as I said, you're right. Done so. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Bemad, for holding the fort on Instagram. I can see you. Bemad is my sister. She's doing she's bringing all our people to come join. Thank you all so much. We've had a wonderful discussion. I tried not to give my opinion, but I still keep doing it. You people should pray for me.
We did plenty.
You people should pray for me. God will help me. Amen. So, Shola, let's give us your final thoughts.
Okay. I thought we did the other. Okay, my final thought.
You
We did not over another. Okay,
No.
final. Now, love and culture. Well, I would repeat, love intelligently. Culture should not be should not be eradicated. Culture is still culture. Is your way of life, your pattern of life, your value, your behavior, your attitude. That's your culture. Let's not view culture with that perspective of is it ethnicity or what would I call it? From the tribe is different. Your way of life. So in marriage, what works for me might not work for you. So your culture is your culture. I'm going to borrow Bracken's point. You bring yours, I bring mine. Then we make ours. That's our culture. So you. Most importantly, are you happy together? Is he happy? Am I happy? That's the most important thing. But at the same time, still respect your relationship with your family. It's still important. We need them. We need our families. We need each other.
Thank you. Thank you, Adesola. Thank you. So justice over to you.
Yeah. I know I'm about to say something out of topic, but I have to say it right now. Watch out for Brother Akin.
Akin. His name is Akin.
Akin. Sorry, man. No, attack me. But yeah, this is somebody I really do admire. I'm not even gonna lie, because I think I had a conversation with Brother Akin in church one day about kids and how you have to bring them up. And every time he says something, I've never really had like a really personal conversation with him. There's something I really admire about him. He always says things that really strikes me. I always come back to tell him every time. So now he just says something that really strikes me, and I've really learned a lot. Like someone who's still growing into life and everything.
He's going to marry an American. I have an American.
You have to bring your culture,
Yes,
little bit of yours, and I bring a little bit of mine, and we make up our culture.
Yes, sir.
That's all I can say. That's the greatest thing I've taken from this place. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We celebrate you, Rocking.
Thank you.
Okay, before I get to you.
Zamunda. Zamunda.
Okay, Bemad. Adesola Bemad said proud of you.
Thank
The
you,
Minister of
Bemad.
Adesola for our program too. Thank you. Absolutely, Adebola. What did Adebola do? Me, I cannot see her. Thanks, my people, for joining. Thank you all. Adebola, what did you type? Because I cannot see her. That's my sister too. That's why I'm aligned now. Anyway, over to you, Aki. Your final thoughts.
Final thought. Single people, stay woke.
Yes, so that's the word.
Stay woke. Marriage is beautiful. It's also challenging, so don't rush into it. Make the right choices. Do your vetting. Go with the hunch.
Should they investigate?
Investigate it. Just don't go into it blindly. Love cautiously. While while you're dating. Don't
recklessly when you're married.
and recklessly when you're married, exactly. Don't get sucked in with the swagger and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't get sucked in with the money for the ladies, the body and the physique for the guys and things like that. So know each other well.
Physique doesn't work for women too.
Exactly.
I mean, guys,
Sorry.
But good point, right? So don't fall for the material things. Again, stay woke. Understand that it takes a lot to make it work. And if you have that hunch going in, that hunch will only grow and fertilize and hatch.
It smells like rice.
Exactly, if it quacks, it smells. It's what it is.
Like a dog, there's
Yes.
a dog.
Now, once you transition and you're married, that marriage, that holy matrimony, that man and woman, right? I know the Bible says a man will leave his father and mother.
And
That man is not talking about the gender, it's the human. So man and a woman leaving to cleave. The crazy thing is, if you don't leave, you can't cleave. So living is leaving your father, leaving your mother, leaving your culture. Like and it's not like you're leaving them like you're cutting ties with them, but it's that influence, right? That ties that you have with them.
Well done,
being
everyone.
cautious.
Life is beautiful. Love is not blind. What works for him might not work for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But once you guys are one, to maintain that oneness, right? Culture has to be so part to that relationship.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you so much. I'm coming, Laide. Be yourself and do yourself unapologetically.
That's so.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Doesn't work in marriage.
You have to do us, not
Yes.
Okay.
can't be
Laide,
anymore.
your final thought.
Okay, I mean, they've said it all. I can just build very slightly on what they said, which is you're coming together. Like Akin said, when you're dating, you want to open your eyes. Someone made an analogy like, consider yourself or both of you as drivers. And you're driving a car, like way back in Nigeria, they would say, close your eyes, let's pray as we go on this journey.
Yeah.
The one person that should not close his or her eyes is the driver. So you are the one driving this relationship. You better keep your eyes open and your ears open and, like I said, love cautiously. At that point, be open to all kinds of information that is coming your way and, analyze them objectively. To understand, can I really live with this person? But we are assuming that everybody's getting into a marriage to live together and build. Some people go into marriages for, a whole different motive. So, whatever your motive is, make sure this person aligns with your motive and they know what the motive is. So you're not blindsiding anybody. And also when you're in the marriage, you have to protect each other. You have to have each other's back. So when we're talking about culture, except the person you're getting married to is an embodiment of that culture, you shouldn't let it impact your marriage. We've talked about it several times. You handle your family, make sure that they don't have, unnecessary influence on the marriage. I handle my family, I don't allow them into our intimacy, what makes us us. And as long as you're both walking on the same path, you have the same goals as a family, as a marriage, as a couple, then you'll be fine. That's what I believe. And then with prayers, we'll hope that all those external things will be taken care of.
So thank you so much. Thank you, Debbie. She said love is sweet when you are with the right person. Someone else said, own up your mistakes and be open to learning. Marry your friend, though. You won't end up with stories. There's something I can't see it. Oh, you won't end up with stories that touch the heart. All right. Thank you so much. So, thank you all so much. I'm just going to say something. We keep saying men can be culturally inclined. Women too can be. We have women that are culturally inclined. I know some women. There are some women out there that will tell you their places in the kitchen. They own it. They're proud of it. That's them. I'm always saying this. Do you? Let me do this. We had that conversation recently when we were talking about parties and all that. And I like buying clothes. From another person like to the party. Potato, potato.
Yeah.
To each his
Plenty
own.
of those in our family.
Yes,
That's
you know. Yes, you
I can tell.
actually.
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood. So, do you? I learned to stop complaining. I was always complaining about my sister. She goes to party Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. She goes to someone said,
I just complained
Yeah,
that she
yes,
corrected
ma'am.
me like,
I'm
don't
like,
leave her.
leave her. If let them eat, it makes you happy, that makes you happy, keep on doing it. Me, my own is shocking, it makes me happy. Don't come and tell me not to do it. You know? So let's respect each other's individuality. Let's respect who we are. And culture, yes, if you're a cultural person, look for a cultural person and marry.
Same
Culturally
culture.
aligned.
If some men are like, I don't want to cook. And you now go and marry a woman that is like, why can't you?
That doesn't want to cook either.
Why can't
If
you?
he doesn't
Do you
want to
understand?
cook and he doesn't mind food coming from anywhere, it's different
This
than
one,
my
when
wife
they don't
must
want
cook
to
for me.
when they don't
Fresh
want
stew
to.
every
Okay,
day.
there was a post I saw. We are actually running up, but we are going to something else. There was a post I saw. The guy came out and said, I can provide for my family. My salary is like 2.something million. Tell me why I would marry a woman that would not cook in the kitchen.
Oh.
She came out rightly to say it.
I know a guy, rich, stupid rich.
Yes.
May God may his soul rest in peace. They have like mates, servant, whatever you want to call them. 4,
You
5,
always
6
want the
cooks.
wife to cook.
Only his wife that cooks his food.
But the wife is okay with it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
agreement, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you
That's
are
their culture.
That's
She
their
okay with this?
culture.
I don't speak to
That's their culture. So
Sorry, I just remembered one point that I was going to make in my final thoughts about mental health. Because we have a bunch of mental health issues going on, and in marriage or even before you get married, whatever would affect your sanity, cut it off.
It's not
Cut
worth
it
it.
off. It's not worth it. So
I
if
love
you're
to
losing
see
your
that.
self-esteem, if you're
losing your sanity. Can you
What
love
to
to
the
the
person
extent
loving? Is it not?
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
the same rate that right.
Anyway, we have to go.
Yeah.
We've been on this for like 2 hours.
If you whoop your ass while you're
Anyway.
dating, don't kill you when you're married.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
very true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I had that thought from my dad. I talked about my dad a lot because he was a great example. He actually fights young guys that beat their girlfriends.
Yeah.
And then he's not actually fighting the guy, he's fighting the girls. It's like you're not married to him, he's beating you like,
and
what are you still
what are
doing?
you waiting for? Yeah.
You know? Anyway. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you for the fun that went on Instagram. Thank you, Baymatch. Thank you, LUP. I can see all of you. You guys had your own real talk on Instagram. Anyway. Thank you all so much. We appreciate the time, we appreciate the effort, and like I always say, thank you for tuning in. If you guys are not there, we don't have any reason sitting out here. But we sit down and talk about what we talk about because you guys are out there listening and watching. And we really, really appreciate it. We do not take it for granted. Thank you all so much. To all our guests for today, Laide, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I think I need to say something before they all go. They'll be coming back on ViewPoints more often than not. Because ViewPoint is actually not a place where we get to change guests. We just have, like, it's going to be like a panel thing. We change topics. So, sorry, I didn't tell them before. They're just here.
I actually enjoyed it.
They're hearing it for the first time.
Enjoyed it.
Anyway, so you get to see their faces more often than not. So we look forward to the next one. We don't know if it will be quarterly or monthly. We are not sure. We're still trying to figure that out. But when the next time we come, you are still going to see their faces on ViewPoints. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Akin. I have to do something. Yeah, I'm sure my friend will watch this. Thank you. I'm thanking you, not him. Thank you. You know yourself. Thank you. Hey, Abuja Prince.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
Bring me
much.
more often.
He's open, no?
Is that bringing off?
He's open, no? The Yamide is just joining. Thank you so much. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Deborah. And yes, though, you'll see him more often. He's open, he's in the market. Yeah, is he not fine?
I didn't like it.
Fine boy.
I didn't like it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Adesola.
Thanks for having me.
I called her as an American. Adesola. Thank you so much for always. So until next week when we come your way on Real Talk with Odun. Okay, I think next week we'll be talking about overbearing in-laws. Yes. Overbearing in-laws.
Okay.
So that's our topic for next week. We want to talk about that. We want to talk about you telling your your daughter-in-law or sister-in-law to wash your clothes. You know. Anyway, so until we come your way next week, look, we are looking forward to that. I hope you guys get to look forward to that too. My name is still Odun Akelere, and I'm your friend, I'm your daughter. No, I'm your friend, I'm your sister, I'm someone else's daughter. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.